Welcome to my royal court, where sociologists come to compete for a spot in my trusted council. I, Lady Gabby of House Hardy, will be your host. And now please welcome a founding father of sociology, Emile Durkheim. Hello. How was the time travel Uber?
Bonjour. I hope this interview finds us well.
Yes.
And excuse me, did you say time travel Uber?
Are you ready for your trial? Now let the trials begin. You know, at least 3 languages other than English. They are French, German, and Italian.
Yes.
Did you learn using Duolingo, yes or no?
No. I learned through a blend of experience in Germany and during my education at Lycée Louis Le Grand, or for you, high school.
Well, what did you do in Germany?
Well, I studied the German way of life and its people. I focused on German morals, philosophy at German universities. I went to beautiful cities as well, like Berlin, and when I went back to France, I published works about these topics.
I feel like the most authentic way to learn a language is through people. It's very inspiring of you.
Thank you. I believe that so much can be learned only through understanding others. It is crucial for us to seek understanding of our fellow human beings.
Indeed. Next question. What motivated you to become a sociologist?
A very winding road. Rubble-covered road is how I reached this where I am. Did you know that my father and his father before him, and then his father before him, were rabbis? Mm-hmm. It is very hard to part from that mold, but once I reached higher education, I became distant from religion. Instead, through the grief of my father's death, I began to believe that great sadness and determination is better for spirituality. It is this determination and effort I exerted that got me here today, doing what I love.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, but do you think that determination is why you kept pressing on to pass the entrance exam into that highly competitive school?
It took me 3 tries to get into École Normale Supérieure, but I did sure get in. I had lots of failures after that too. Many people thought that I would do better than what I've done, but I'm proud of what my tenacity has provided me.
And speaking of what you've accomplished, what is your favorite achievement as a sociologist?
That is a tough question. I've done lots of research about people. I researched about wars, labor, religion, suicide. I enjoyed the pursuit of each, but I would have to say that finding the connection between suicide and religion is my favorite.
Oh yeah, the stuff about like the Protestants killing themselves more than like Catholics and Jewish people?
Indeed, that is what I refer to. However, it is not only about the statistics. Anyone could look at the data and tell you where suicide rates are the highest. But I found out why. It is due to the lack of human connection and support. Catholics and Jews are united through telling stories, shared experiences, and confession. But Protestants, they are isolated. They have no confessional booths, no century-long persecution. They are isolated, and that's why their rates of suicide are higher.
I bet you felt very accomplished when you discovered that.
I am. Well,
Sir Durkheim, you have passed the trials. Now, in celebrations of your accomplishments, it is time to feast. Ooh, what is that smell? Can it be the delicacies of France? Servants, bring out the food. Care to explain what is presented to us today?
Well, of course. This is food that would commonly be seen in my home country of France, and in my home as a man of Jewish ancestry. There's a French onion soup, coq au vin, challah, and for dessert, macaroons.
And this is totally authentic and not sourced from the supermarket.
Were you aware that I had a son?
Vaguely.
Eating food from home reminds me of him. He actually served in World War I, went missing in 1917. That's a strange who death picks.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I've been studying death for a long time now, specifically suicide, of course, in all types. But I've been studying how death affects people ever since I lost my father.
You mean to say you watched how it affected you? Do you think your father's death could be why you have a focus on things like suicide?
That could be one of the reasons, yes.
You mentioned the 4 types. What are they?
Well, to commit suicide is the biggest deviation from society. To do an action such as this must have a weighty reason. I believe that there are 2 factors for victims' reasons: social integration and regulation. One with either too much or too little of each is at high risk.
Wait. So what's the difference between those 2 words?
Social integration is the level that an individual is connected to their society, while social regulation is how much an individual lets society rule over them. So, if someone is removed from society, they will lack that strengthening connection I mentioned with religions earlier and have a high risk for egotistic suicide.
So,
on the other hand of the spectrum, those with complete devotion to their society are more likely to die for it and to commit altruistic suicide.
okay, so what about the other two?
There is anomic and fatalistic suicide related to social regulation. If there isn't enough control over the individual, they may start believing that their life holds no meaning and is too unpredictable. They're high risk for anomic suicide. But those who have no freedom are more likely to commit fatalistic suicide.
It's crazy deep, man. Well, this feast was indubitably delicious, so I think it is time to move on to our next event. I require that each member of my court redesign themselves and make a new family crest. So let us know who you are and what you want your legacy to be. I provided you with some materials, and while you let your creativity flow, I'm going to keep asking some questions.
Fire away, good lady.
You once described your French philosophy teacher as too fond of generalities and too worshipful of the past. And you have said that what you had to learn was sheer poppycock. As a teacher now, how do you feel about traditional teaching, and did it ever discourage you from learning?
Well, I was younger then, I had no experience, and I was simply trying to learn what they were blabbering about. They loved to focus on the past and the grades, instead of trying to encourage us to improve on those classic ideas. Even worse, they would try to explain their bland old ideas with a disguise of eloquence.
So essentially they'd say a lot to say nothing.
Now that's eloquently said. But as I became a teacher, I tried to keep my experiences in mind. I didn't want to teach like my old professors. Then later, I published a book on rules of sociological method.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Some of its concepts are still used today. What rules did you focus on?
Well, I established the fact that before one could think like a sociologist, they must know what a social fact is, because all we do as sociologists is analyze social facts. Social facts are a way of acting, thinking, and feeling passed on to the individual by society. Then I explained in my book that those social facts should be treated as real things, as its. Then I outlined how we should treat it. We should observe it with a clean slate and have no preconceptions of it. Have your definitions correct and based on reality, and focus on the big picture and not on every single individual person.
Wow, that's interesting guidelines that I'm sure are important in.
Oh, but I'm not done.
Oh.
The last thing is, and it coincides with looking at social facts with no preconceptions, that we must differentiate between the normal and pathological in society. Health and sickness. Society adapts to deviations like crime, and crime is not a sickness in society or pathological. It is simply a social fact that society has taken care of. Therefore, we as sociologists shouldn't seek to fix things that we see as bad, but instead study them to understand the complexity of our society. I am done now.
And now all that you have worked on has outlived you and is still being studied today by a new generation of potential sociologists. Although we call your blank slate the beginner's mind.
I wish I had came up with that. But anyways, I finished my family crest.
Splendid. Would you care to explain it?
Of course. Well, in this corner, I drew the emblem of the school that I primarily teach at, Bordeaux. I love education and studying further, so I believe that an important aspect of myself. Sometimes I pursue it so much that it drives me sick. Then in this corner is a mini portrait of my family that I love dearly. Then down here, I wrote some words that I have interest in, that I have studied. In the final box, I drew a glowing light of knowledge that only grows with time.
And would you say that this light is sociology?
Yes, I would hope so. I fought to keep the science alive, and I hope my legacy shows that.
It does. But on an even happier note, you have a coat of arms. You are now officially a part of my court.
Huzzah!
And now, knights, away with him!